Welcome back, toy fans, to episode 211 of Ronald's Reviews, and on today's episode, we're going to take a look at the Toy Collector's Wish Book, Volume 1. Cue the march. Welcome back, everyone. Now, like I said in the intro, today we are going to take a look at the Toy Collector's Wish Book, Volume 1. Now, this is an amazing toy collector's guidebook, and it's something that I picked up at the NEC, not directly from the NEC, but I met up with my good friend Steve, better known as Derby Collector, who hooked me up with this book, and I collected it from him on the day. Now, I know we live in a world with the internet at our fingertips, and we can find out all the information we need on particular toy lines on the internet, but then we're into Google searches and clicking on all the web links that are available until we find the information we need. Personally, I love something tangible, something physical, like a guidebook that you can sit on your knee and go through it at your leisure with a cup of tea. So sit back, relax, put your feet up while I take you through the Toy Collector's Wish Book, Volume 1. Okay, here we go, folks. So let's start with the front cover. And personally, I think this is an awesome front cover. So we've got a black matte finish on the front cover with a yellow gloss for the font and for the background where the figures are. It says at the top there, Retro Toy Quest presents the Toy Collector's Wish Book, a visual history documenting the golden age of toys. And I just think it is an awesome front cover and really inviting, by Wayne A. Shiner, Volume 1, and then it details at the bottom there the 7 different vintage toy lines that this book focuses on. And then, as you can see, right in the centre of the cover, we've got 5 of the toy lines there. And this pulled me in straight away because this book features 2 of my current favourite lines in Coleco's Rambo and Galoob's A-Team as well. And when I saw the front cover, instantly I was really excited to get into this book. And then as we go into the book, guys, we've got the contents page. So we've got a detailed breakdown of everything the book includes. We've even got a little section at the side there which documents how to use the book properly, how to reference it properly. And then we've got all the detailed pages. So all the toy lines that are focused on in this book. There's 7 different vintage toy lines. And we've even got sections in between for industry spotlight sections. So this one focuses on the Kenner designer in Tim Effler, and then also a toy sculptor in the industry as well in Rich Rowland. So really, really nice extras in this book, not just the toy lines. And again, really excited to get into it and take a closer look. Okay, so now we're into the first toy line, and the first toy line is Clash of the Titans. Now, this is an awesome toy line. Not a toy line I think I'm going to be tempted into. I say that, famous last words. But I have a huge affection for this movie. This is a movie that I used to watch several times when I used to go to my grandparents as a kid. On the school holidays, I used to sometimes dump myself there at my grandparents, and this was one film I used to watch a lot. So I have massively fond memories of this movie. So the toy line you would think would tempt me. I don't think it will, but I do think it's awesome. And then as we get further into book, so now you can see just how thorough this book is. We've got detailed pictures of the figures and of course the awesome Kraken at the end there. That is absolutely fantastic. We've got pictures of the cards the way they would have been seen on the shelf on their card backs when we were kids. And then of course we've got pictures of the figures at the top. We've got Perseus, we've got Thallo, we've got Calibos, and we've got, is it Charon? The Devil's Boatman. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but what an awesome toy line. And even in the top corner, you can see the Kraken in his packaging. I've never seen that before, but this line just looks so good. And what a second line to feature in the book. So now we get to Kenner's Indiana Jones line, and look at that for an image, for an introduction. We've got the map room there, we've got the Ark of the Covenant in the middle. That is an awesome image with all the figures there. Just an absolutely fantastic way to introduce the line. And then as we go in, like I said, we've got breakdowns of the figures now. So one fantastic thing about this book is they do really thorough breakdowns of the figures. So they detail the figures with all the accessories they should have came with, and they even show us certain things like this little playset at the side here. So this was an unproduced playset for Temple of Doom, and as you can see, they've got Indy and Short round there in the little mine cart going loop-de-loop round the mine track. Unfortunately never produced, but just so nice to see. But like I said, we've got all the detailed figures in the book with all the accessories, so you know if you pick these figures up, you know what you should get with them, and they're just so good. And then as we go through the book, again, it even details the play set. So we've got the figures with the map room there, we've got the Well of Souls play set as well, we've got Belloc in the top corner in his ceremonial robes, and this is just an awesome book. Again, if you need a book for reference, definitely pick this up if it involves the lines that you're looking at collecting, but this is awesome. And then as we go along, more figures, again with all the accessories they should come with, but even they start detailing and breaking down the playsets, showing you everything that should come with your playsets so you know exactly what pieces you need and if you've got any missing. And it is just such a fantastic book. And again, if it includes any of the toy lines you're looking to collect, definitely pick yourself up a copy of this. And it even goes into the 12-inch Indiana Jones figure. Now, don't get me wrong, when you actually look at the figure there with his hat, I'm not quite sure what's going on with his hat there. It is well known that this guy came with a really dodgy fedora, but wow. Straight away though, still very thorough, detailing again all the things that the 12-inch Indy should come with, and just a wicked book. Okay, folks, so the next line is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons by LJN. Now, this is a line I know very, very little about. However, I can certainly appreciate it, and it does look awesome. I mean, look at that image as it introduces the line into the book. It is so cool, man. And then as we go in, obviously, like I said, a running theme of this book is a very, very detailed breakdown of all the figures. We can see all the figures on the cards, how we would have used to seen them in the shops. I mean, the cards do look great. I do recognise War Duke, though. I do recognise that figure. But yeah, they look awesome. Again, not a line that I'm invested in any way, shape or form. It's not a line that grabs hold of me, but I can certainly appreciate it. And as we carry on, again, further in, more figures. This is a massive line. It seems like there's a lot of figures, but the card backs do look great. Some have got like a blue background, some have got a red background, purple at the other side. But yeah, very, very nice figures. And like I said, not a line that I've ever collected and don't think I ever will, but I can certainly see the pull to them. But on this page, there is something I recognise, folks, and a lot of you will probably recognise this guy. So I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but the Tiamat five-headed dragon. Now, if you know your 80s cartoons, you will know that this guy featured on the intro of the cartoon Dungeons & Dragons when we were all kids, and that is a line that I could be invested in. We all remember that famous intro as kids, and that was just an awesome cartoon when I was growing up. And obviously Hasbro have released those figures in recent times. They are figures that I think I could be tempted by, but I'm not keen on the packaging. We got that windowless packaging and I was never keen, but that is a cartoon that was very, very close to my heart as a kid. So I definitely could be tempted to get those, but that is the only pull to Dungeons & Dragons as a line that I would have, but still a very, very cool line. Okay, folks, and the next toy line we get to is one of my favourites, and this is Galoob's A-Team. And again, an absolutely awesome image to introduce the line into the book. This is the 3.75 characters. I'm more into the 6-inch characters, but we will get to them in a second in the book. But what an awesome image, and the A-Team van at the back as well with Faces Corvette. They just look so good. And once again, as I've said already, we've got a really comprehensive breakdown of the figures. So we've got all the 3.75 good guys at the top there, the A-team. We've got the bad guys at the other side, all the accessories that we should have got with them. But we've also got Euro variants in here, which is great. Now, I didn't realise there was variants of the 3.75 figures. So we've got variant colours in some of the A-team figures. We've also got variants in the bad guys as well. And I wasn't aware of this at all. So again, this is why these books are so good. And I think you would probably struggle to find this info on the internet at times. So this is awesome. And then as we get further into the book, so again, we've got the bad guys and the good guys in the 3.75 on their cards. We've got a breakdown of all the vehicles. We've even got Murdoch's jet there. That looks absolutely awesome. But yeah, we've got Face's Corvette, something that I never had actually when I was growing up as a kid, but just so great to see. And then as we go further on, we've got Hannibal's patrol boat at the other side there, but on this side we've got the A-team tactical van. Now, this is something that I did have as a kid. I am desperately trying to get it into my collection as an adult. Really difficult to find one in decent condition. I'm not opposed to buying a beta as long as I feel it's something that I can do up, but not easy to find in good condition and at a decent price, but I would love the tactical van. And then going further in, we're now into the 6-inch line, and this is a line that I am so invested in at the moment. I've completed all the figures. Well, I say I've completed all the figures. Actually, that's not true. I will tell you a little bit more about that as we go, but look at this. Now, 18 figures are one line where I struggled to sort of get an accurate grasp on all the accessories that came with the figures, but look at this. How well is that laid out? Nice and clear, and we can see every figure and every accessory that should have come with them, and this helps me so much. What an awesome book this is. And then as we go further in, now this is a page that I found really interesting. So as you can see, we've got Amy Allen at the top there. Now that is an expensive figure these days. Not the best face sculpt, we all know that. But I was aware that there was Euro variants and variant colours in the 6-inch line. But what I didn't realise was there's actually 2 variants of Hannibal. So there is a variant with white hair, which I didn't realise. I knew there was a variant with a blue top, but I didn't realise we had that one. I knew we had a yellow variant of Murdoch. I knew we had an orange variant of Face. But I had no idea we had a variant of BA. Now, the one variant I believe they give us was they give us BA in like a wrestling figure, and I always thought that that was the substitute variant for this line, but we've actually got an actual variant for BA in this line, and the variant is that he has a darker blue vest and yellow socks. I had no idea that guy existed. I thought the variant that we got was the wrestling figure, but that is awesome. So again, I'm always learning, and that's what I love about these kind of books. And then on to the next page. I mean, look at that. That is unreal. So we've got all the figures on their cards, what they would have looked like. We've got details of the card back as well. And on the other side, we've got the bad guys. And I love the fact that they alternated the colours on the bad guys. So we've got a yellow card with the red writing. I just love that. And this is a line that I'm so invested in. And hopefully I'll complete it soon. Now, I did say I thought I'd completed it, but there are some Euro variants that I'm hoping to get, which I haven't got yet. So one day, hopefully I'll pick those up. And carrying on further into book is another line that I am massively invested in at the moment. I absolutely love this line, and this is Coleco's Rambo, the Force of Freedom line. And look at that image again. I love how they introduce every line in this book with a stunning image, with all the figures set on a really cool background. It just looks awesome, and a line that I am hugely invested in. And then as we go in, we've got a real nice little section on this side showing the TV commercial. We've got a few of the Stallone VHS tapes up there. We've got Rambo and Rocky. But of course, again, keeping within the theme, a very comprehensive breakdown of the figures. And again, this is great because VTR Dave will tell you recently, Rambo as a line is so difficult at times to determine exactly what figures should have and shouldn't have come with. Like, I picked up Nomad recently from a toy show, and trying to determine whether he came with 1 or 2 knives is crazy. And that sounds really simple, but you look on one source, it says he only has 1. You look on another, and there's 2. So it's really difficult to determine at times what these figures should have come with. So again, a very detailed breakdown, and this will help me massively. And there we go, folks, just giving you an example. I mean, look at the amount of accessories that came with these figures. I mean, Gripper especially comes with like 27 Uzis or something like that. This is an awesome line, but at times so difficult to determine what figures should have and whether you've got everything. So this book will help massively. But look, there you go, Dave. Nomad only comes with one knife according to this book. We've got two, so either way is complete. So it doesn't matter, I guess. But what an absolutely awesome book, and I love this line. So now we get to the vehicles, and I've got to admit, I would love to start picking up some Rambo vehicles. I just don't have the space to accommodate it, but I absolutely love the Defender, the assault vehicle. The Skyfire assault copter is so good as well, but there's so many awesome vehicles. We've got the Skywolf there, we've got the Savage Strike Cycle. Honestly, I could get so heavily invested into this line even further. I've got to try and resist the vehicles, but God, don't they look good. I mean, that Defender, that looks awesome. And then, of course, we've got the famous playset that is the Savage Strike Headquarters. Now, this is an awesome set, really difficult to get complete, as VTR Dave will attest, but I had a really disappointing experience with the Savage HQ recently. I did pick one up, I moved it on very quickly, sadly, for various reasons, but it is an awesome playset. But it also became apparent very quickly that it was huge, even bigger than I expected, and I couldn't accommodate it, but it just looks so great all set up there, and what an absolutely stunning playset. And now we come on to Series 2 figures, folks. And again, Series 2 figures are very, very difficult to acquire. So only a smaller amount of figures in the Series 2 line. I have got TD Jackson coming thanks to my very good friend VTR Dave. But some of these figures are just so difficult to find. I mean, especially Dr. Hyde. Trying to find him in working condition, it's virtually impossible. But what an awesome line. And yeah, if I can get some of these, I certainly will. They've got to be at the right price, but very, very difficult to find. But absolutely loving this line, and hopefully I can keep it going for a little while longer yet. And as we keep going in the book, guys, we now get to toy line number 6 featured in the book, and that is Chuck Norris and the Karate Commandos, produced by Kenner in 1986. Now, this is a line that I know very, very little about. In fact, I know nothing about. But again, another stunning image as it shows us in the book. But look at that, so colourful and so many really cool characters. And that Corvette, man, how cool is that? Yeah, absolutely looks awesome. And like all the other lines, so again, it shows us a really detailed breakdown of the figures, all the accessories they came with. We've now got a picture of each figure as well on the card backs. They look really cool, but you know what? I don't know if these were only available in the US. I'm sure they were available in the UK, but as a 7-year-old, I don't remember seeing these on my toy shelves. I don't remember seeing them in Woolworths. I don't know if they were exclusive to any other stores, but I don't remember seeing these as a kid. And if I'm honest, even though I probably wasn't a huge fan of Chuck Norris when I was growing up, I think as a 7-year-old I could have been tempted into these. They look so cool. As we keep going, we've got all the other figures, some really cool ninjas. Like I say, as a 7-year-old, a ninja appealed to me as an action figure. So I think if I'd have seen these in my local toy store, I think I could have been tempted into these. But one thing I could have been tempted into is look at that Corvette. I've got to be honest, this isn't a line that I have any desire to collect, but if I saw this at a reasonable price, I think that Corvette could really tempt me into buying it. How cool does that look? And the boxes are great as well, so yeah. Like I said, a toy line I know nothing about, but if you're into your Chuck Norris Karate Commandos, then again, this is the book for you. And then finally, folks, the last toy line in the book is Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, produced by Kenner in 91. And again, we've got a stunning image on the front there, but we will recognise some of these vehicles and some of these playsets as we go through. Obviously, I'm sure you all know where I'm going with that. Not a line that I collect or have any desire to collect. Robin Hood was never a character I was really into, but I can certainly appreciate it. So again, we've got that breakdown of all the characters, character names, all the accessories, pictures of them on their card backs. I mean, they are really cool. I've got to admit, I loved Alan Rickman as the Sheriff of Nottingham. That is a figure that actually I would probably consider having in my collection, but Just a really cool line. Like I say, if you're into your Robin Hood, I can imagine this is a line you probably collect. And again, I don't know if there's any official guidebook out there for Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, but this definitely would be a good option for you. So on the next page, we've got all the rest of the figures, but we're also getting into the play sets and the vehicles now. So we've got the net launcher there. That looks so cool, but you all know what's coming. So on this page now, you will recognise some of these vehicles and playsets, I'm sure. So we've got the Sherwood Forest playset there. That is basically just a redo of the Ewok Village. I'm sure you all know that. And then on the other side, we've got the Battle Wagon as well. Again, just a redo of the Ewok Battle Wagon, but all very familiar stuff, but absolutely awesome. The boxes are really cool as well. I've got to admit, the boxes do look great. But just such a cool toy line. And again, if Robin Hood's your thing, this would be a fantastic reference book for you. And now I've said that, folks, you get to the last page of this line and it actually says there, look, the borrowed toy lines, and it actually states that the Ewok Village was turned into Sherwood Forest and the Ewok Battle Wagon was turned into the Robin Hood Battle Wagon as well. It even shows you on the other page toy lines where the sculpts were borrowed for other toy lines. So, for example, probably the most famous one, the most recognisable, is the Gamorrean Guard there in the top corner, and they stole that mode for Friar Tuck. But we've got all other different figures and different modes and different toy lines that the modes were taken from. So just so good for information. So there we go, folks. That is the Toy Collector's Wish Book Volume 1. It's a fantastic book. If you like the look of the book, you can still pick these up. If you go over to bluemilk.shop, you can pick them up online. They are still available. You can pick them up in softback or hardback. I definitely recommend it. It is a fantastic book. But also you will see on the website that Volume 2 is also available for pre-order. That is coming in around June, July time, and I'm very excited to get that one as well. That features 2 more prominent lines in my collection, in Brave Star and also Mask as well. So very, very excited to get that. So if this book appeals to you, get over there and get yourself a copy ordered. Just be aware of where you are in the world, because shipping can be quite pricey, so just be aware of that before you order. But you know the drill by now, everyone. If you're new to the channel, I hope you consider subscribing. Give me a like as well. That really does help the algorithm. Leave a comment. I try to read everyone's comments and get back to everyone. And as always, keep collecting. See you next time.